everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, #MovieBae. I am MovieBae, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing The Jasmine's Blues. Now this is Tyler Perry's latest film, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all, it was better than I expected. Let's get into it. But before we get into it though, I want y'all to be sure y'all hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for reactions, reviews, and commentary on movies and television. Jasmine's Blues synopsis reads: Tyler Perry's tale of forbidden love and family drama, of course, unravels 40 years of secrets and lies against a soundtrack of juke joint blues in the deep south. So the movie starts off, we see an older lady, her name is Hattie Mae, and she says she wants to investigate an unsolved murder. All right. She drops off a stack of written letters to, I don't even know what the hell his position is, to this white guy, and she walks away. So the movie is being told through a series of letters. All right. Of course, the first letter introduces us to our characters. We have Bayou, who we quickly find out is like the black sheep of his family. His family is very musically oriented. I'm gonna say that. His mom, Hattie Mae, is a singer, and his father plays like all types of instruments. He's a musician, okay? So the father calls Bayou over to come play the trumpet, and Bayou kind of like blows, literally and figuratively. So he calls over his light-skinned brother, damn, what's that dude name in here? Willie Earl, to come play, and Willie Earl is as talented as his family members, right? So Bayou, while he's like helping around while everybody else is partying, he notices this girl. Her name is Bucket. Real name, Leanne. Why they call her Bucket? Because her mom dropped her off in the South while she went up north like a used bucket. I thought that was funny. But Bucket doesn't like being called that. So later on, Bayou goes down to the river by himself, and he's singing to himself, and Leanne, aka Bucket, is there, and she tells him that you don't need to play instruments, you can sing. And of course he talks about, you know, how his family they're not the nicest, and her family isn't either, so they kind of bond over that. Over the summer, Leanne and Bayou, they bond. She teaches him how to read, and they basically just fall in love, okay? Now, trouble ensues when, first off, Willie Earl is jealous of Bayou because Willie Earl had a crush on Leanne as well. But the family drama doesn't stop there. The dad hits the mom one day, takes all the money, and decides to leave town, leaving Willie Earl, his favorite child, behind. So when the dad leaves Willie Earl decides, like maybe like the next day, that he's going to go off and go find his dad in Chicago and become a big famous musician with his father. Yeah. And we also get a hint into Leanne's personal life or family life, where her grandfather is molesting her, and it was so disgusting. I really wish like that scene could have been insinuated, or, you know, him like tugging at her or something. Like, we didn't have to see that. Like, we didn't have to see that, Tyler Perry. That was no. Anyhow, y'all know how I feel about those type of things in movies. Like, y'all know how I feel about that. Bayou is in love with Leanne, and he asks her to marry him. Now, the very next day, when Bayou is with his mom and Sissy, which is like, you know, she just kind of like is always around, right? He lets them know, like, hey, I'm going to marry Leanne. And Sissy lets him know, Leanne gone, baby. And he's like, what are you talking about? So apparently Leanne's mom came back down to the South to take Leanne back up north with her. Apparently the grandfather had told Leanne's mom that, what's that boy name? Bayou had been touching her and making advances at her. So the mom threatens Bayou and said, you better not follow us or I'll call the sheriff on you, XYZ. So Bucket leaves town. Time goes by. Bayou gets drafted into the war. He gets honorably discharged, and now he is back in town with his family. But his mom and Sissy, everybody, they don't live in that town anymore. They moved to another area where black folks are doing well for themselves. So much so, girl, what's her name? Hattie Mae has her own juke joint, all right? And one night the juke joint is going and it's popping, and guess who pops up? Willie Earl. Willie Earl isn't alone. He brings some white man with him. Apparently, Willie Earl met this manager. I'm going to call him the Jewish guy. And with promises that he's going to get him like this gig somewhere in Chicago, as long as his mom, Hattie Mae, nurses him back to health. Now, that's something that we never circle back around to. Initially, I thought the manager was a junkie, but oh no, somebody else got the itch, and it's not the manager. It is indeed Willie Earl. So Willie Earl is the only person that has blown back into town. Guess who else is back? Leanne. And Leanne has been passing for a white lady and is now married to the future mayor of the town that they live in. Of course, it doesn't take long, though, for Leanne and Bayou to rekindle their old flame. Even though Bayou initially was so smart, he was like, girl, you're going to get me killed. I can't mess with you. It is what it is. Ain't you married? Don't you love him? You didn't say no. Like, Bayou was really smart at first, but he fell under that light-skinned spell. Oh, my God. So, basically, long story short, Bayou and Leanne start sneaking around with one another. What's her name? What's that girl name? Leanne's mom catches Bayou and Leanne having sex in a car, and Leanne's mom tells the sheriff and Leanne's husband that Bayou had whistled at her one day. So, of course, y'all know what that means. The white folks, they now want to go lynch Bayou. So, Bayou decides to, well, he doesn't even decide. His mom makes him leave town with Willie Earl and the manager because they finally got that gig in Chicago. So, when they get down there, the manager of the club is busy and he kind of blows off their appointment, only momentarily, though. But Willie Earl got mad and left. So who's left? Bayou. So Bayou has to perform an audition, and Bayou gets the gig. Now, Willie Earl isn't forgotten about, but he is just going to be playing in the band, while Bayou is the star of the show. Now, let's flash back to Georgia. Let's see what's going on. Hattie Mae has lost her juke joint. The townspeople, what's the guy? The clerk at the store is checking her mail because Bayou writes letters and sends money. So they're checking the mail and taking out the money. So Hattie Mae is struggling. Meanwhile, Leanne is pregnant and asks Hattie Mae to deliver the baby because that's what Hattie Mae does. She delivers babies from time to time. And this baby comes out looking white, but we all know that is not a white man's baby. And Hattie Mae knows it too. So I can't remember. I think Sitzy, somebody. Oh, no. Their cousin went up to Chicago to see Bayou and Willie Earl and told Bayou that Leanne had a baby. Of course, Bayou thinking that the baby is his and he wants to go back to Georgia. Now, the manager reminds him, don't you remember they were trying to kill you last time we left out there? Like, you successful out here. How about we just bring your mom out here with you? And Bayou like, my mama not going to want to come out here. Okay, your mama didn't want to go out there initially because she had shit going on in the South. But now she ain't got shit going on because they done basically blackballed her, blacklisted her. And she has lost her business and she's struggling. I'm sure she'll feel fine coming to Chicago. But no, Bayou think he a man now. He tired of running. So guess what Bayou does? He goes back down to Georgia. So Bayou packs up Willie Earl, junkie, strung out ass, and they all go back down to Georgia. Now the manager comes to and he says that we're going to have some bodyguards with us. You're in and you're out. You see your mom and you leave. That's it. When Willie Earl gets down there, child. Not Willie Earl. When Bayou get down there, child, he, of course, sees Leanne, and they hiding out in this tour bus or what have you. While Willie Earl decides, I'm going to go snitch on my brother because my brother done took my girl from me. He done took my job from me. And he on drugs. So Willie Earl's life is not panning out how he expected. So Willie Earl decides to tell the white folks that Bayou is indeed back in town. So after Bayou performs at his mom's juke joint, he goes meets up with Leanne, and here comes the torch squad. Bayou leaves Leanne in the bus and goes tell the white folks, hey, let's talk about this. It's been a misunderstanding. And of course, what they do, kill his ass because, nigga, is you dumb? And Leanne ass just in there crying. Bitch. Let me finish the movie before I go off on her ass. All right, so Bayou's dead. It flashes back to quote unquote present day. Not really. It's probably like 1940s or some shit. And the police officer or lawyer, whatever he is, who's reading all these letters, he goes into a room with his mom, Leanne, and he's like kind of questioning her, but of course she's old and senile and she's just playing Bayou's records over and over and over again. And the police officer realized that he is indeed the mixed breed baby as he sits on his front porch with his Confederate flag waving. Yeah, you thought you was white? You actually black. You black because your daddy black and your mama half black or whatever the fuck she was. Like, look at you. So let's get to this review. Y'all know Tyler Perry is good for a convoluted storyline, and this movie was all over the place. I literally cut out a lot of things because the movie was all over the place. But, I mean, I had the most important parts. Like, I promise. I didn't gyp you. And if you've seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, it was all over the place. It was Tyler Perry Studios, and you know Tyler Perry is really tight-fisted, but fortunately for him, his tight-fistedness went well with this budget because it was the 1920s. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like a big budget to be had anyways. But Bayou, I did notice that he wore the same shirt 3 fucking times in the damn movie. Like, I'm just saying. Acting was not bad. You know, it's whatever. But the characters... Leanne, buckethead ass. She was so selfish. Like, so much so. She was selfish and annoying this whole movie. I almost turned it off because I was sick of her ass. Like, she didn't care who she hurt in the process. I love Bayou. Bitch, you knew him for 3 months. Fuck out of here. But you so in love. You didn't care if it killed him, if his mama got killed. You didn't care about none of that because you a white presenting woman and you never told your little funky ass secret. So when your mama told the white people that Bayou whistled at you or whatever, if you was so much in love, bitch, why didn't you say, well, if you gonna kill him, you might as well kill me too because I'm black. Joke's on you, crackers. Like, why didn't you stand up for your nigga? Why didn't you do that? You acting real white, Leanne. You were acting real white this whole movie. I said, this bitch really thinks she white for real. Didn't kill her mama. Didn't hurt her mama, slap her mama. She didn't do nothing. Your mama ruined your life. And you just let it happen. And you selfishly ruined other people's lives too. So I have no sympathy for you being old in your old ass age, still living in your white Confederate flag lifestyle. Because she ain't snitch on herself or nothing. So much for love, bitch. Romeo and Juliet killed themselves because they loved each other. You ain't really love Bayou, you selfish bitch. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyways, all in all, this is one of Tyler Perry's best movies. Even though it's not a good movie, it's one of his best movies. And that says a lot. How about this? It's one of Tyler Perry's best movies in a long time. Nothing's ever going to top A Family That Prays, though. Like, nothing. But... we all know Tyler Perry has been on a downward slope, and this kind of turned the car around. He ain't going back up the slope, but the car is turned in the right direction now. I will say that. So if you haven't seen A Jasmine's Blues, if you ain't got nothing to do, go ahead and watch it. You know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Out of 5 stars, I'll give it a 2.5. It was just cut some shit out, Tyler Perry. It was a lot going on. I do feel like this show could have benefited from being a series, like a limited series. Not one of your long-ass series, Tyler Perry. A limited series. Like 10 to 12 episodes. I feel like that would have helped versus cramming all these itty-bitty storylines into one movie. You know what I'm saying? But thank y'all so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Be sure you hit that subscribe button to stick around for more content. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed my commentary. And leave a comment down below. What were your thoughts on the film? I'll see y'all next time. It's a date.